Iliopsoas. Oh, iliopsoas. This is the major muscle of the flexor, the hip flexor, the major flexor of the hip. Remember, all right? Proximal attachment. Well, we have an iliopsoas major. Basically, it's at the sides of the T12 to L5, all right? Vertebra and the disc between them. And also transverse process of all lumbar vertebrae. Psoas minor, basically the proximal attachment is at the sides in terms of psoas minor, all right? The proximal attachment is at the sides of T12 to L1, all right? Vertebrae and the intervertebral disc. The minor is tiny, you know, it's not that important. Iliacus, well, it starts from iliac crest, iliac fossa, all right, and ala of the sacrum, and anterior sacroiliac ligament. Distal attachment, well, psoas major is the lesser trochanter of the femur. Lesser trochanter. Come all the way down, insert here. That's really powerful. Get your hip flex. All right? Get your hip flex. So, lesser trochanter of the femur. And psoas minor is Pectineal line, iliopectineal eminence via the iliopectineal arch. Okay, but tiny. It's not that so important. And iliacus will be the tendon of the psoas major. All right, and the lesser trochanter, and also the femur distal to it. All right, so this is a psoas major. The psoas major is so powerful hip flexor. Remember that hip flexor, powerful hip flexor. How about the main function? Let's summarize that. I just mentioned powerful hip flexion. All right, they're active conjointly in flexing our thigh, and also stabilize this joint. It's very important to stabilize this joint. All right, especially during the ambulation when you're walking, you really need your hip joint to be stabilized and also control your trunk. So this is also a very important posture muscles, okay, that helps to control the deviation of the trunk. And it's also actively during standing, okay, that keep our balance, All right, so basically iliopsoas, they go keep your back, go lean forward, but your hamstring behind, keep you backwards. That keep your posture in the neutral. All right, if your iliopsoas is weak, the patient tends to go backwards. If the patient's hamstring is weak, the patient guess what? Tends to go forward. All right, so it's got to keep the balance. Innervation. Well, iliopsoas major, the ventral rami of the lumbar, ear 1, ear 2, and ear 3. And the iliopsoas minor will be the ventral rami of the lumbar nerves, basically from ear 1 to ear 2. All right? And iliacus, basically the femur nerve, ear 2 and ear 3 especially. Okay, we know femur nerves ear 2 to ear 4, but for this muscle specifically, they basically focus on ear 2 and ear 3. Anterior supplies lumbar branch of the iliopsoas branch of the internal iliac artery. All right? So this is iliopsoas.